Have you been waiting for someone to give you power? Someone to say it's okay for you to speak. Someone to say, you know what? You're pretty good at what you do. Have you been waiting for someone to give that to you? If you've been waiting for that, then you need to listen to this live because I want to let you know, stop waiting. You already have the power, and you have to know that this is already within you. And today, what I want to be able to share with you, how you can get on the path to power, purpose, and connection. Here's a fact. I have done enough research in working with high caliber corporate women, women who have been hustling for years and years, trying to outwork, outdo, outshine, and get this external validation. And all that has left them is exhaustion, burnout, frustration, and resentment. And a lot of women are feeling this because they have bought into this system, this idea that the power that they have is external. And usually, what that amounts to is that we're waiting for someone to see us. We're waiting for someone to look at us as if we have to find that from somewhere. And I can understand that. I can understand why women have been feeling these external pressures, this idea that someone needs to look at me a certain way, someone needs to see me a certain way, because everything that we've been taught has been based on an external validation. Our makeup, our hair, our clothes, the way we look in everything that we do, everything is external. Our title, right? Our position and success. And what I want you to know is that when you get on the path to power, purpose, and connection, by you merely showing up with your full, authentic voice, with everything that's within you, because you practice working on yourself and you know who you are, everything comes to you. Everything comes to you. Everything will come to you just like that. And I will consistently share this until I leave this human experience, that you need to understand this path. So I've created what is called the path to power, purpose, and connection. I explain it in the podcast, and today's live is meant for us to go back through it. So I just want to be able to share with you that this is something that I realized was this path to power, purpose, and connection has been something I've always known as a kid. When I was being raised, I had five older sisters and one younger brother. I knew this as a young girl, that me speaking up, me sharing my voice, me talking the way that I did was always met with an eye roll, or a who do you think you are, or you need to know your place kind of positioning. But yet still, I would move forward. As I got older and I started to do this in corporate America, I started to realize I was looking and waiting for someone to see me, to validate me, because I was conditioned as a kid to look for that, right? Because I saw my sisters and everyone, and I still went forward, but I still felt like I needed someone to tell me this. And when I got into corporate America and I was starting to work, and I'm telling you, I was working very diligently, very hard for a very long period of time. And I was looking for someone in a high caliber position that would look down on me to say, Diana, you're amazing, right? And I will tell you, I never really had a problem getting promoted, never really had a problem getting to the next level, but it seemed like it always had to come at me working twice as hard as everyone else. That's until Steve Kroll, the chief legal officer at a former company I used to work at, here in the Toledo, Ohio area. That's until Steve Kroll asked me to run the United Way campaign. And I was only on the position for maybe 8 months at this job. And I was so excited. He said, Diana, we're running the United Way campaign. And I thought you would be the best person to run it. Now, granted, this is a large organization, a lot of people. Why was I hand chosen out of all of these people to run the United Way campaign? It wasn't as if I thought in my own mind that I'm amazing and I'm beautiful beyond just my looks, beyond all these things. It was something that I was waiting for him to say, you're amazing to me. But the question that he asked me shifted my entire outlook. The question he asked me was, Diana, what's your story? What makes you who you are? And no one, and I repeat, no one has ever in corporate America ever asked me that question. No one asked me, who am I beyond my title? What makes me operate? What makes me tick? No one has ever asked me that. And when he asked me that, the first response I said is, what do you want to know? Why do you want to know it? And he said, well, the United Way is running a real life campaign, and we want to talk about real life stories. And we want to know your story because I believe that you have a story that would help so many people. And I never equated the fact that my personal story had something to do with my power, had something to do with me having a purpose, and that helped me connect and influence other people. I never connected the dots, especially in corporate America. And so when he asked me that, I really had spent so much time hiding who I was, hiding my personal story, hiding everything about me, that when he asked me that, it would just took me back. And it took everything in me to build up enough courage to be able to share. How many of you can relate to that? Right? To be able to connect the dots that my story and who I am actually relates to the power that I hold within me. So I got up enough courage and I started to share my story and started to share about the trauma that I went through growing up, started to share about the racial issues that I endured being interracial, the family struggles that we had. And it made me realize that I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to break stereotypes. I wanted to shift generational trauma and curses in my family so that I could be a shining example of what it would look like to have success. And when I got done sharing all of that information, I was crying, right? Uncontrollably. My face was just covered with tears. I was sweating because I was feeling nervous and I was feeling out of the ordinary. And I was vulnerable. I was completely vulnerable. And what I didn't realize in that moment is how much vulnerability saved me. In that moment, I asked Steve, I said, I need a moment. I need to go to the bathroom and like get my face together, get myself together, pull myself together, and then go back and see him. And he said to me, now I know why I chose you to lead the United Way campaign. It, that moment shifted something in me. It made me realize all this time that people were seeing the light that's inside of me outside of my title and things. Now, granted, the title, like me being a lawyer, me being a person who actually believed I was something, was what Steve Kroll saw. It was as if I was waiting for him to validate me. So I've come to realize that women in my position, women who have been told their entire lives that this external validation is needed for you to be someone, I realize that we want someone that we trust, someone that we believe is important to do that for us. So I want to come to you as Steve Kroll, a position of power, a woman who understands that this external validation is not necessary and that your true power comes from within. From the time Steve Kroll shared that with me, I have been on a quest for my own power, understanding my purpose and my ability to be able to connect with people deeply. So, I want to share with you three rungs, three aspects of this path to power that is actually in my profile photo on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube. And I want to put the graph in the link below. And I want to share with you that there are three rungs I want to share with you today. First is your character. Your character is who you are behind the scenes, who you are with your values, everything that you stand for. But I believe that your character is who you are and how you show up behind the scenes is what matters most. How you talk to yourself, how you see yourself. That is your character. And who are you when times get tough? How do you talk about yourself? How do you speak about yourself? Your character is the energy that you emit. Your character is the outside ring of the path to power. And this character shows up and it transcends your suit. It transcends your nails, your face, your hair. This is the character that I believe we have to work on the most. When we are willing to understand that this character is what matters most, we move into a heightened sense of awareness, which is the second ring that's out inside of character. We live with a heightened sense of awareness. We walk through our lives being more aware of how we speak, aware of our ego, aware of the pain that we may have endured. And we start seeing how maybe some of the things that we say don't match some of the things that we do. And we start realizing how much what we think and what we are matters. And we become more hypersensitive to our speech. We also realize we don't have to put other people down in order for us to be able to have power. We start to realize that the more aware that we are of ourselves, the less likely other people have control over us. We start to be aware that our title, it doesn't matter our title. We also know that the power that we bring will get us the right title. There's this whole juxtaposition that happens that we don't have to force anything. We attract everything and we manifest everything. This is the heightened sense of awareness that we are teaching in this path to power, purpose, and connection. Once we become aware of this, we have to start practicing as if it is already so. Whatever we believe, whatever truth that we believe about ourselves, we have to begin to practice that in our daily lives. Even when we don't see outside evidence that it's there, we practice, we believe, we sell ourselves the truth And we do these internal practices that are behind the scenes that really help our character shine even more. So when we talk about character, character is everything, but you have to have an awareness about the way that you walk, and you have to practice who you say you are. And we spend so much time analyzing our daily practices, how you wake up, right? What do you say to yourself when you wake up, right? And getting into meditation, getting into a deep prayer life, really starting to understand the type of woman that you are, right? And things begin to shift, right? Between awareness and practice and those two areas colliding, you start to realize the deep influence that you have on people, right? You're less likely to force things. You aren't operating in fear. You don't use fear as the generator to get you going. Of course, we've been given these internal mechanisms to understand how to know when we are not safe and when we are safe. It starts to get to the point where you go into situations and you're safe because you know you're safe. You're not looking around for people to make you feel safe. You belong because you know you belong. You stand up because I'm going to stand up. I'm not looking for affirmation for people to say it's okay for me to stand up. You see the difference? So every time we applaud someone for doing something in all through history, I started to recognize that these outliers, these people who are just going into situations and doing it, they're not looking for you to say it's okay. They're just doing what it is they know they have the power to do. And they believe this is their truth. This is the path to power, purpose, and connection. This is where you begin to influence, and you're not even trying. Why? Because the love that you have for what you do, the joy that you have for what you do, the excitement and enthusiasm that you have for what you do does not relate to what it is that you say I can do. And look at history. I mean, we can even point to what just recently happened with, I love using Serena Williams as this example. I mean, Serena is from Compton, right? She went into this tennis arena, which was traditionally for highly influential, traditionally highly influential white people who had a lot of money. There were never really a lot of Black women, especially Black women from Compton, who were going into this type of arena. And Serena and Venus literally went in there and took their culture and who they were into that place. Now, were they looked at crazy? Yes. Were they talked about? Yes, because it didn't fit the mold. They weren't looking for you to affirm them. They were just good at what they did and they let their light shine. And what that did was it gave other people permission to do that and they influenced people. And then, of course, Serena would do all the things that her culture was known for, right? And it was okay. It was met with opposition, but she wasn't looking for you to approve her to do that. And it has influenced so many people. And she's not saying you have to be like me, but this is me. And this is who I am. This is my power. She found her path to power, purpose, and connection by showing up for who she is. Does this make sense to you? I really think it makes sense because this is what I've had to learn. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Sometimes I fall back into these external validation factors, right? Looking a certain way, having my hair a certain way. And I will even say, like when I was looking back on Serena and Venus back in the day, I remember saying, "Oh my gosh, they're coming in with braids and cornrows and, beads and all the things." And their hair wasn't looking like everyone else's hair, straight and flowy and all the things. And I loved it because I started thinking, man, they're just showing up as themselves. Why don't we do that in corporate America? Why don't we bust some of these stereotypes and just be who you are? And that's because we're still looking for this, right? So we've created this path to power, purpose, and connection. This is what we teach. This is who we are. This is what I realize a lot of you are looking for. And I want to let you know that you already have it. You already have the power within you. And this is the work we have to do. We have to move into a sense of awareness. We have to move into a sense of practice so that we influence from the inside out. And we're going beyond external validation. But then you need some tools when people get you upset, because you saw Serena, like there were some times where she had to like pause, get some space, right? And then speak her truth. Because there's some times when it can kind of wear you down. But when you're working on external validation, that can wear you down. But when you're willing to pause, assess, get some space, and then speak and pass on blurting out your first response and pass on canceling everybody you don't agree with, passing on thinking that everything that you do, everything is considered a personal attack. You realize that you pass on that, you gain insight, you become more curious, you become more open, and you gain more knowledge of who you are, how you contribute to the world, and how you can continue to stand up in that truth. So, this is our methodology, and this is something that we teach in our Rise Advocates movement. It's something that we believe corporate women, especially corporate women at a higher level who have found themselves just constantly spinning their wheels, not having an internal peace about themselves, this is something we believe and we know you need in order for you to stay the course, to consistently rise and be the advocate for yourself and for others. If this is something that you are interested in, continue to follow me, continue to follow Rise with Diana, and follow our movement. We have the Rise with Diana podcast that you can listen to. We have all different types of outputs that can help you get to the next level. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a link in there for you to follow to receive our weekly content that we publish every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. We hope that you will come in and you will be able to receive a lot of the things that we know are the things that are going to get you to the next level. Does this sound like a plan? Does this sound good? All right, my friend, my sister, keep rising. Understand that you are powerful. You have a purpose, and you can connect to people by influencing them with who you are on the inside. All right, until next time, I look forward to connecting with you. Be sure to sign up for